Hi there, welcome back to ADSR Machine Tutorials. Get subscribed to our YouTube channel if you're not already, youtube.com/ADSR Tuts, and also we're on Twitter now at Machine Tuts, so come and follow us. So yeah, today I'm going to do a tutorial on just making full use of those 16 pads that we've got there, or the 16 sound slots within one group, and taking this loop that we've got here and resampling some of these sounds and just kind of really just utilizing the sounds that we have in a loop already. So have a little listen to this loop we've got here. I just taken one of the 808 kits and kind of reprogrammed some bits and bobs and got rid of some sounds. So I'm going to take this kick drum here in sound slot 1 or the first pad, 808 kick drum, and I'm going to copy this here, because what I could do with this is the kick drum, but I could copy it into another sound slot and make it into a bass sound. So I've copied that. I've just kind of like control clicked or right clicked on the sound slot, hit copy, and then I've just pasted it into sound slot 9 or pad 9. And it's already quite bassy sounding, but what I could do here with this sound, I've copied it over, I could tune it down maybe 5 semitones, so it's a bit deeper. And also the kick, if we listen to the kick in isolation here, is a kick drum, it's a percussive sound, there's a lot of transient, so I want to add a bass sound to that. I've detuned it, I could back the attack off a little bit, so it's quite a nice smooth sort of bass sound. Maybe just program some basic notes in here, increase the decay and distort it maybe. And we've got a couple of different distortions to choose from in here. Saturation, and solo this sound. And we've just taken that kick drum, we've kind of copied it, pasted it in here. I mean, that distortion's quite heavy, so and we just kind of utilize that sound really. So we could take this technique a little bit further, and on this pad 5 here, I've actually got a synth sound, it's in massive, so let's duplicate this pattern or double the pattern length, and say this end here, I want a kind of slight variation on that synth, so a little bit of a fill. So what I could do here, again, control click or right click, copy sound 10 slot, paste it in here, and then we could tweak this sound with this same massive sound and just a bit of variation in here. Double click on that this massive here, and then it kind of loads up the synth, and then go to this pen here, top left hand corner, hit that, and then we get the full synth. So let's kind of just do a little bit of a tweak on the variation. It's going to be a fill, so we want it to jump out of the mix, so let's turn this pan position on so it's nice and wide. Maybe turn that reverb from a small reverb into a large reverb. There's a bit more decay on there. Open up the filter. And we can do what we want really. We can just change it into a chord even. And then we can have that on the fill there. So take these notes out of here and then just add a little fill in there. And we just kind of utilize that second sound slot, duplicated that massive instance and just done a variation on it. So we could do something really cool with this snare that we have in sound slot 6. So let's do again, control click or right click, copy, and let's paste it into the sound 11 slot. And let's use the looper in the sampler to create a kind of snare flan. So go over to this sampler icon here, and if I go into the zone mode, this loop here, active off, if I turn that on, it's not going to have an effect on the sound until we set up either an AHD or ADSR envelope. So now the start and end points. Let's get the sample up here. So our loop's set to quite a long range at the moment. So let's bring this loop length down a bit. As you can see, as I drag this endpoint, I'm dragging the play range and the loop length down here. So now if I hold down sound 11 slot, it's kind of looping. So we can set up some pretty cool sounds in here. And just change that start point back to 0. So we can create this kind of drum roll effect. So go back to our programming and just start adding some of these kind of or add this kind of long roll in there. Delete those. Maybe change this length. We've got quite a cool sound. We could maybe just go ahead and play around with the pitch of this, do a little bit of a pitched thing. Pitch it up, and we've just taken that snare from the sound 2 slot or the sound 6 slot, kind of resampled it a little bit really, just set up a loop on it, and use some automation on the pitch to just kind of convert it into something new. And we're just utilizing all these pads or sound slots that we've got within one group. So another technique we could look at here is looking at some of the kind of sample manipulation options we've got. So if I took this kick, copied and pasted it again, and we went into, hit our sampler icon again, but this time went into edit mode, we can actually start using this stretch here. This is really cool. We can just start converting this into something completely new. So with all the formants, if I turn the formants to on and start tuning this up, apply, kind of turned it into a tom, undo that maybe, and let's change the beat mode to 3, and we get this kind of speed option, 50%, and let me tune it down a bit now. Turn this tune up. And we've just kind of resampled that kick drum again into something completely different. You know, I could go into keyboard mode now. And just resampled that and just play a little riff in with it. So another cool trick is, say if we mute this for now, go to this sound 13 slot, and say if I wanted to just do a kind of an edit on this whole loop here, so what I could do, sound 13 slot, go to record, internal source, and with everything set up here, input master, we could just set it to the 888 kit, but I mean it's the only sound we've got playing in this loop, so input master is fine, mode sync, length 1 bar. So I'm going to record 1 bar of this loop into this sound 13 slot. So hit start, and it's just waiting for the beat to start to trigger this recording, and then we've just got this kind of 1 bar section of the beat here. So, and I've got this mapped to the pads as well, so sound 13 slot, right in there. So what we can do with that setup in there, we can go back to our loop here and say we want to change this fill. Could just delete all of this here and just put this beat that we've set up. This is the whole loop, so I need to sort the velocity out. So we've got that beat. That basically the whole beat is on pad 13 now, sound 13 slot. And we can start resampling this a little bit with it kind of set up in there in the sort of fill section. So can add a little filter on here, change the mode to bandpass, and turn the LFO on, LFO sync. We've got this really kind of cool sort of filtered kind of feel on the sound. Change the speed up. Really cool little sound. We just resampled that whole loop and just put it back into the loop, programmed it in on a fill, add some kind of filter and some LFO modulation to the filter. We're just utilizing the sounds that we've got within the group, all 16 sounds, and just doing some kind of resampling or sample manipulation and just getting a bit creative with it really. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope you found it useful. Any questions, please get in touch, and make sure you get yourself over to our website, machineskills.com, for a lot more tutorials on there using Native Instruments Maschine. And thanks for watching. Alright, cheers, bye.